Okay, we still got a minute or so before we start. Still letting people in. We have a full house, it looks like, tonight. Well, welcome everybody. My name is Joe Anthony. I'm the CEO of JA and Associates Logistics, and people are still coming in. The way this all came to be, first I'd like to start with some announcements. I'm going to have you all muted while I go through the training. I'm just going to show you exactly, what the opportunity is. There is no investment whatsoever other than your time. This is a real, position, working from home. As long as you can work from anywhere. You can work from a Starbucks and anywhere you want, as long as you have a laptop, a cell phone, and internet access. Okay, we're going to provide you with all the training, with all the resources that you're going to need, to be successful in this industry. What I'm going to do is go through the training from like beginning to end. So basically, what would be required of you until you get paid. Okay, we'll talk about compensation. We'll talk about how you get paid, the options for you to choose how you want to be paid and everything like that. What we're going to do is I'm going to go through the training, and then if you have any questions, just go ahead and put them in a chat box. I have a couple people manning the chat box for me who volunteered to help me out here, and I definitely appreciate their help. Hank, thank you very much. Anthony, also, thank you very much. Then after we get done the training, then we'll open it up for live Q&A. So I'll answer any and all questions that you may have at that time. Okay. So my name's Joe Anthony. I'm the CEO of the company. The way this all started, it was only about 2 short years ago. My wife was diagnosed with cancer, and I was trying to, because I had to retire her, I had to find a way to subsidize income. And so I couldn't go back to work. I mean, I retired 11 years ago after, being a truck driver for 27 years. And I couldn't go back to work because I had to get her to doctor's appointments, get her to cancer treatment centers, chemo, all that kind of stuff. So I couldn't hold down a, regular, steady weekly job. So I worked as a part-time on the weekends, which I still do to this day as a CDL instructor, actually training, women and men on how to drive tractor trailers for a living. So that was kind of my way of giving back. And then I said, well, how can I, benefit from my experience and everything? So that's how JA and Associates came to be. I never intended for this to get as huge as it was or how it is, and it's still growing today. I'm definitely blessed. But I started it with no script, no resources, no nothing. I just had to figure it out all by trial and error. And as you'll see when you go through the entire training and everything, there's no stone left unturned. I know the trucking industry inside and out and upside down. So I have a leg up there. I was able to close my first 5 drivers down to 7 phone calls, and I close every single person I talk to unless they hang up on me. We're going to show you how to find drivers, and these are drivers that are basically raising their hand and saying, hey, I'm looking for a load. And all you got to do is call them up and try to help them, get them signed up and start booking loads for them. It does require work. You have to be very well organized. Those who choose to go forward, we'll go ahead and get you set up with further training. We hold training every Tuesday and Wednesday night, where we have the rest of our team. They come on. These are people that are in the industry, that are making money each and every week, that are searching, booking loads. They have multiple carriers. So you'll get to meet people that are definitely in the industry and making money. So I'm still letting people in, so that's why I'm kind of distracted. So I apologize for that. Okay, um, so basically, I created J and Associates Logistics just for myself, and then what happened was I had a friend of mine who had lost his job and needed money to uh, support his family and everything. And I said, hey, well, why don't you do this? So I started training him how to do it and everything. And that's how the training came to be, from training him. And he went on to be, very successful at it. Uh, and so he said, well, you should, sell this as a course. And I was like, no, I don't want to sell it as a course. So my wife passed away in, May of last year. And I was like, okay, I want to make a difference while I'm still here on earth. I want to make a difference. So I heard a speech from Denzel Washington. He said, pull someone else up, make a difference. Don't aspire, to work a job or anything. Aspire to make a difference. So that has stuck with me, and that's how this all came to be. And we just keep expanding and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Um, I'm a hands-on owner. I provide all the training. I will be on the training personally because no one knows this industry better than I do. I do have a couple of heavy hitters that are logistic business managers, and they'll be on tomorrow night's training, logistics training. And they're willing to, they volunteered. They're not getting paid anything extra for it or anything, but they see the value that this all provides and opportunity provides for others, and they just want to help others also. So they'll be on and they'll give you their contact information, their phone number. So if you ever have any issues or problems or anything, if my assistant Melanie or I can't handle it, then you can always call them, and they'll be glad to help you. And these guys, we're talking fleet managers for JB Hunt. We're talking drivers who's been in the industry over 20 some odd years. Logistics managers for 3PL companies. So we do have some heavy hitters in here. But they're all willing to help you. We do have a private Facebook group that you all will be invited to join. In there, you can network with one another. You could team up with one another if you so desire. If you're not too good on the phones and someone is, have them get the carriers while you book the loads, or vice versa, and you guys can help one another that way. You can always role play with one another. The key thing is the script. Now, you'll notice that the script is short and concise, but that script will overcome any objection that anyone could ever think of. Okay, and if it doesn't, and you hear something that nope, it doesn't overcome this, you bring it to my attention, and I'll show you how to get around that. Okay, so like I said, I close every single person I talk to because I know the industry. I know how to talk like a trucker, because I was a trucker for 27 years. So I can really relate to them. You got to go in it with the mindset that, hey, I'm here to help you. And if you go in with that mindset that I'm here to help you, without going in like, oh, I'm here to like get a commission off you, I'm here to make money off you or anything. If you go in, trying to help the driver themselves, you can't help but make the money. Zig Ziglar had a saying that said, if you help enough other people get what they want, you can't help but get what you want. So keep that all in mind. Okay. The first thing that I like to do is talk about goal setting. A lot of people think like, oh wow, this is supposed to be orientation. What's this goal setting stuff? But if you don't know where you're headed, how you ever expect to get there, right? So that's the very first thing that I like to do. I like to talk about goal setting. So what I want each and every one of you to do is just follow along with me. Pull out a pen and paper. If you have one handy, that would be great. If not, open up a notepad or a Word document or anything like that. And from now on, when you're on any type of training, always have like a legal pad or a pen or tablet or something where you can take notes, because you're going to hear, from people that are doing this, that are experienced. You're going to get a lot of golden nuggets from them, from their experience and things that they've learned. Because sometimes we get on the training and someone will come up with a problem, and I have to help them with that problem, and this would be a problem that you may not have encountered as of yet, but you could encounter it later down the road. So you want to take really good notes. So with goal setting, what I like each and every one of you to do is just try to find out, like, if everything, let's just say everything went perfect in these next 12 months, what do you aspire to make with J and Associates as a logistic business manager? Okay, just write that number down. Okay. All right, so now once you get that number down, what I want you to do is to go ahead and divide that by 12. Because it's okay to have huge goals, but if you focus on milestones, that keeps you, focused on where you need to go. That's why what we're doing right now, we're reverse engineering what your aspirations are to make in 1 year. Okay. So if you divide that by 12, now you know how much you have to make to meet your yearly goal monthly. Okay. And then what we're going to do is divide that by 4.33. So if you divide that number by 4.33, that will give you your weekly goal. Okay, and then we're going to divide that by 5, and that would be your daily goal. Okay, because now you have some kind of system to see, like, okay, if I want to make this amount of money each year, I got to make this monthly, I got to make this weekly, I got to make this daily. Okay, and that will keep you on track to your yearly goals. All right. So what I advise everybody is when you are, we like to use block scheduling. All right. And what I mean by that is when you are getting ready to make your calls, or you're getting ready to go on to where we show you where to find the drivers, and you're getting ready to call them up and everything, block out some time. All right. You want to block out like an hour. Okay. And then I don't want you to work any more than 45 minutes consistently. This has been proven to be so productive for people that if you block out 1 hour and you only work 45 minutes, after that 45 minutes is up, you get up, you walk away from your computer, from your desk, your phone, whatever it is, and just go for a walk and get up, get something to drink, or just get away from it for like 15 minutes. Just relax. And then when you come back, you're going to be so super productive that next block that you blocked out, the next block of time. Okay. So you want to do that. And then you also want to, keep track, like how many people you're calling, how many people you're talking to, how many you're sending a logistics service agreement and a profile form to, how many you're getting back. And we're going to provide you with a checklist, so you don't have to write that all down. We're going to provide you with a checklist on how to, we call it call preparation. We just don't want to overwhelm you with so many documents, with so many things to learn. There's a lot to learn in this industry, okay? This isn't a course. This isn't where we're just going to say, okay, watch these videos, download these documents, have them ready, and good luck to you. No, it's not like that at all. You know, that's why we hold trainings on Tuesday and Wednesday night. On Tuesday nights is logistics training, and on Wednesday nights is live Q&A, where you can come on with any, you know, questions that you may have. You need further explanation, you need further demonstration, something just isn't clear to you, whatever that is. We're here to help you every step of the way. Okay, so now you need to ask yourself a few questions. Okay, so because you're going to have to discipline yourself, like working from home. We find that people that work from home, it's very, very easy to get distracted. Very, very easy. You know, like you could be there working, and next thing you know, your child comes in, or your wife, you know, the washer's flooding the laundry room. You know, like anything can happen at any given time. You know, so you have to discipline yourself. You know, when you are when you're working from home. You know, and you have to ask yourself, you know, would I hire myself or would I fire myself? Okay. If you're producing and you're doing the work, then you say, yeah, you know, I'd hire me, of course. You know, but if you're not doing it, then you would be like, well, no, I think I'd fire that person, you know. So you want to keep that in mind. But I want you to ask yourself these questions. Okay, please write these down. Okay, this is going to give you your why you're doing this. Okay, and that's the very first question. Why are you doing this? Is it to, you know, provide for your family, give them a better life? Is it to create legacy wealth? You know, what is it? Like, why are you doing this? And we already talked about, but you can write it down again. What do you want as far as income? There's no cap to your income in this industry. You know, you're talking $1 trillion industry. When we are not even dipping our pinky toe into the capabilities of what's out there. Okay. And then what's your plan to get there? So do you have a plan to get the kind of income that you want? This is a big one here. Okay, how am I going to hold myself accountable? Okay, and ask yourself, what am I willing to give up for this? Because it is going to require time. Like I said, that time is your most valuable asset, and we understand that, you know, but that's your investment in doing this is your time. We're investing in you. We're providing you with the software. We have proprietary software. We could find high-paying freight faster than anyone else on the planet. Okay, we're going to provide you with all the resources, with the load boards, with everything you need, all the documents. You know, ongoing training. You know, the thing is, you have to invest your time, which, like I said, is your most valuable asset. Okay. Ask yourself, what am I willing not to give up? Now, a lot of people say, wow, okay, I never thought of it like that. You know, what am I willing to give up? But now, what am I not willing to give up? You know, some people are saying, well, I'm not willing to give up time, you know, with my family. You know, I have a certain amount of time, and you know, I got to have family time. We understand that. You know, what we went over as far as your daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly goals, you know, have them everywhere. Write them down. I know it sounds crazy, but it works. You know, it's the same thing as Think and Grow Rich. You know, If you have them everywhere, you have them on your bathroom mirror, you have them on your refrigerator, on the dashboard of your car, because they're always in your face, you know, and it reminds you that, hey, this is a choice that I'm making. Okay. All right. So we have a saying here, you know, if you're not dialing or calling drivers, you know, you're unemployed. If you're doing this full time and you wake up each day, you know, like a lot of people only do this part time, and that's fine. If you can only do part time, you're working a full time job. You know, this is just something to subsidize your income. That's fine. You know, it all depends on you. Um, there's a lot of people right now that are unemployed right now, and they don't want to be. And it's a choice here. You know, right here, right now, this is a choice. You know, if you're going to be employed, or you're going to call, sign up drivers and help them. It's just a choice, okay? But like I said, you also want to track your activity. That way you can't lie or trick yourself. And we're going to provide you with a call tracking sheet. We're going to provide you with a checklist to go down so you're well prepared before you even start making your calls. We have a certain way of doing things, so you are fast and efficient, and you're able to get the most out of each and every day, okay? So with that all being said, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go over the script, okay? So I'm going to open up the script. I'm going to show you how to navigate the website. So this way, when you get on the website and everything, you'll know how to navigate your way around. So you'll know where to get what resources and everything, okay? So let me come here. Let me see where I'm at here. Oh, there I am. All right, let me know when you can see my screen.
We can see it.
Okay, great. Appreciate that. All right, so this is the home page. Okay, this is jalogisticsusa.com. This is a new website. We just put this up probably a few months ago because for the longest time I've been doing business through imbmethods.com, and they were like, that just doesn't make sense. But I've had that website forever, so that's what I was using at the time. So that's why this site is new. And we are going to a newer platform here within the next month or so, which is very exciting. We'll give you more information on that later. Okay, so here you are, JA and Associates Logistics, where you tell us what you want, and that is all we're going to provide. See, I was owner operator for 17 years of my 27 years of driving, and I noticed that there was a problem then. You know, you're an owner operator, you would think like, hey, I can make my own hours, I could work when I want to work, I could do what I want, right? You're working for yourself, you should be able to do that. Well, back then I wasn't allowed to do it, and still to this day I found that owner operators are not allowed to do that. You know, most people, what they'll do is they'll tell you, you know, if you say, oh, I don't want to run that load, they'll say, okay, well, if you don't run this load, you'll never run another load for this company. So what's that tell you? You got to do it, right? So that still goes on today. So what we are offering owner operators is unprecedented in the industry. We actually ask them, okay, how much money do you want to make? Where do you want to run? You know, we ask them what they want. You know, what kind of loads they want, where they want to go, and how much money they want to make. You know, and like I said, it's unprecedented you know, what we do for them. And here's our motto, okay? Our motto is when you see our phone number on your caller ID, you will know without a shadow of a doubt that we have the kind of loads that you want, going to places you want to go, and paying you the kind of money you want to get paid. We specialize in providing only high-paying freight. We don't offer low-paying freight at all. We only give you what you want. So you tell us, what do you want? Okay, there's a quick video here. You're welcome to watch that. And these are just some of the service that we provide, logistic business management. We show truckers how to become independently wealthy driving their truck. Okay, most truck drivers don't know how to run a trucking business. We're going to train you to be their logistic business manager. That's the goal. Now, you're not going to do this right out the gate, you know, because you have to earn their trust. But once they know, like, and trust you, we're going to teach you how to do proper load management to where they can make more money than they ever thought possible and have more of a life. Okay, so that's just one of the things that we do. Another thing that we do is we have the loads they want. We work for them. They tell us the kind of loads that they want. That's all we provide. Going to the places they want to go. They tell us where they want to go. Paying what they want. They tell us how much money they need to move their truck to be profitable. And basically what that means is how much money do they need per mile to be profitable. Okay? So here we go. Now, that's the home page. On the About page, this is me. There's a picture of me. That's me, Joe Anthony. This is how you can read the short story. I basically kind of went over it, you know, here briefly, but you can come in here and read this at your leisure. But what we do is unknown in the trucking industry. Okay, we actually, and we tell them, brokers and everything, they'll always say, take it or leave it. This is a load I have, you know, take it or leave it, you know. And we also say that will never, ever happen when you deal with one of Jay and Associates logistics business managers who specialize in only high-paying freight. We don't offer low-paying freight, okay? So you're welcome to look at that. Here's just some of the services that we do. JA and Associates is a logistic business management firm and not a transportation company. Okay, sometimes you'll get, you know, drivers that will say, okay, what's your MC number? What's your DOT number? You know, we're not required to have one because we are not a transportation company. We provide logistics services and auto haul relocation services. Okay, so we do logistic business management service. You can read information over here, and auto transportation services. Now, you just starting out, we don't offer you the opportunity to do the auto transportation services at first. At first, we want you to do the logistic business management service, and then as you become successful, then you can move into the auto transportation services, where just in that alone, you can make $1,000 a day. Okay, just in the auto transportation service, and we can show you how to do that. So if you come over to the more here, you'll see factoring. Okay, if you click on factoring and you click it here on the page, it goes over to our factoring company that we have a relationship with. Okay, if anytime you have a carrier and on their profile form they don't have factoring put in there, you can always come in here, put their company name, their email, their phone number, their first name, last name, their DOT number. Has they factored before, yes or no? And then what you're going to do is come in here and put this information in here. Okay, J and Associates Logistics dash whatever your first and last name is. So this way we know who gets the money, you know. So you get paid two different ways. Let me show you that real quick. I got to move you over here. Okay. You get paid two different ways. You get a referral fee, and then you get 10% of the earnings as a commission for any account you provide to us for the life of the account. Okay, so let me show you an example of the compensation for that program. So on average, you're probably going to get the $200 referral fee, because most truck drivers are going to factor between $5,000 and $40,000 each month. Okay, so you'll probably get that, you know, and then you never know, you might get some bigger companies. We got some people that have 30 trucks, you know, we got some people have 11 trucks. So it all depends on you. All right. So you can get the $200 referral compensation right there. And then the broker compensation right here, the commission, is if they factor, say, $10,250 in a month. Okay. Now this is what the factoring company is making off of them. Okay. It's not what they're factoring. Okay. This is what the factoring company is making off of them. Say on average, they're earning, you know, 10,000 a month. Your commission would be 10% of that. So you get 1,025 monthly compensation for that account. Okay. So, and you know, this could be one driver, you know, so now if you had 5, 10, however many drivers, that amount adds up. Okay. So then let's go back here. I want to go back to our website because I just wanted to show you. There we go. So then down here is contact us, pretty self-explanatory, you know, full name, email, phone. We don't have our phone number or anything on here because we do not want to take your carriers. Okay, so they have no way of calling us or contacting us other than this form. Okay, what we do is if someone comes in here and they put in their name, phone number, and all, what we do is based on the area code, we'll give that to one of the managers that live in that area. Make sense? Okay. Then the careers tab, which I'm sure you all came through. You know, if you go on the careers tab, there's a video down here that you go through. Because we got such an influx of demand of people that really want to do this, you know, we had to pre-record a webinar, not orientation like this, but this was like me going over a one-on-one interview, acting like I was talking to you personally, you know, but we had to do it on such a large scale. Okay. So the very first thing you're going to do is come into logistics training. Okay. And you will all, if you haven't received your password as of yet, you know, you let us know and we'll get that package out to you, a welcome aboard package. And this is just a video going over the website navigation, which I'm going through now. And this the script training, you know, what to say, just the documents that you need to have and what to send, how to upload your documents and attachments to DocuSign, how to follow up if you need to. The crucial conversation you have to have with your carrier once you have them signed up, how to download your software, how to find loads using the load boards, how to use the load boards, Safer Web carrier snapshot. We show you how to investigate a carrier before you even decide you want to work with them or not. And we have some business managers that actually make the carrier qualify to work with them, you know, because you only need 5, you know, and carriers are easy to get. Call the broker to book a load, questions to ask the broker right here. What if the broker requests a carrier packet? This goes over some of the information on that you need to know as far as filling out a carrier packet. Understanding what is a load rate confirmation sheet. We show you some examples here. Okay. Did the carrier get paid? You know, that's a quick video there. And then carrier invoicing, process documents needed in order for you to get paid. Okay. So go through that training. You know, make sure you go through it even a couple times. You know, just don't go through it one time and think you know everything, because there's things that you will miss. Okay, so go over that training over and over and over again. Write down any questions you have. You know, make sure you truly understand it. Okay. So that would be the logistics training, and on here also is a glossary of trucking terms. So if you click on that, anything you want to know about trucking, you know, any kind of terms, or you know, you need definitions of anything, it has that at that link. Okay. So then we go to tools and resources page. You log in with the information that was sent to you. Okay, now once you get here, you're going to see on this side, I got to move us again. Okay, on this side over here, you're going to see all the documents over here. Now, if you just scroll over, it doesn't tell you what it is, but if you look down the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, you'll see how much money do you need to move your truck. That's the script. The new logistics service agreement, that's the logistics service agreement. Profile form. So it tells you when you scroll over it down the bottom of left-hand bottom corner of your screen. Okay, and these are just all the documents that you need to download. You know, some of them you need to edit with your information, and in those videos that we just went over, you know, documents to send and all that information is self-explanatory. It tells you what documents to download and what to edit and how to edit it and all that good stuff. Okay, so that brings us to the beginning of our training. All right, so the very first thing is the script. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to act like this is my very first time. All right, so all I'm going to do is to right click this and open link a new tab. Okay, then it's going to pop up. Okay, so all I'm going to do for this time is you would click save the very first time and just hit OK, but I already have it, so I'm just going to hit OK and open it. And as soon as it comes up here, what we're going to do, because we're going to need this, and this is all part of the checklist and everything. We don't have the checklist in here. We're going to send that to you, you know, as far as the call preparation checklist. So as soon as this comes up, you're going to see why I have this screen open, why I keep it open. Is because what you want to do is on Trucker Path here, you want to right click on your mouse and open link in new tab. You want to do that for direct freight also. And you actually want to do two of Trucker Path, because one is going to show you where to get the carriers. Another is going to show you, you know, how to find the loads. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go into Trucker Path. Okay, so to find loads, you know, find, you know, carriers first, you want to come to truckloads for brokers. So when you click on that, you want to click sign in. Now, it's automatically going to populate for me, you know, because I've done it so many times. But if this was your very first time, what you would want to do is go back to tools and resources and get your username here and your password here. Okay, and that's that information right here. But once you do it one time, it automatically populates after that. You only have to do it once. Okay, so I'll go ahead and sign in, and then I want to come over here to truck search. And we're doing all states. I wouldn't do any equipment. What I would do is I would just do flatbed, van, and reefer. But what it's doing right now, it's going out right now and finding all the carriers So these are people right now, right here, find carriers looking for loads. This was 3 minutes ago, 3 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago. You know, so these are all people that are looking for loads. Now you notice that some of these are replicas. Now they could be the same person checking in multiple times, or it could be they have more than one truck. So you can verify that once you call them. So what I would do is come here and instead of any, I would just go flatbed, van, reefer, and I would just click on satisfactory, because conditional is going to be dependent upon the conditions. So I just come in here, and once that come up, my script should be up. Yep, my script's up. Okay, so we're going to take, we'll say Daryl, right? What I would normally do if I was doing this right now, okay, if there was more, I would go to the one that's been there the longest. So this one's been there 115 minutes. So I would go to Graham because he's been there a long time. He's probably, you know, easier to, like, he's probably starting to freak out. Like, hey, I got to find a load here somewhere, you know, and I can't find anything, you know. But like I said, we have proprietary software, which you're going to see here shortly, that we can find high-paying freight faster than anyone else on the planet. So let's use Graham for this example, okay? So what I need to do is I'm going to have to switch back and forth because I got to show my script. All right, let me know when you guys can see my script. What I'm trying to do is to keep it to where, okay, good. So I want to keep it to where I can see both screens. So that's what I did. Okay, so I'm going to say, hey, Graham. That's all. Just, hey, Graham, like a question. Like, hey, Graham, you know. And as soon as he says, yeah, this is Graham, who's this, or whatever, say, hey, this is Joe. Hey, Graham, are you looking for a load there, driver? Notice I said, are you looking for a load there, driver? Okay, that's what we refer to one another in the trucking industry. We refer to each other as drivers. Like when you're passing another driver, it's like, hey, have a good day, driver. Hey, be safe out there, driver. You know, keep it between the lanes there, driver. You know, that's just the way we talk to one another. Okay, so when they hear you say this, they're going to know that you have some experience, or you know what you're talking about as far as you know, communicating with a truck driver. Now, if you were a telemarketer and you say, hey, Graham, are you looking for a load? Right away, their wall's going to go up. They're going to think, okay, it's telemarketer, is somebody trying to sell me something? You know, we're not trying to sell them anything. We're trying to help them, right? In the interim, we're getting paid for it, but that's only if they decide to utilize our services. Okay, and you'll see as we go through the script, I'll touch base on a couple objections that have come up in the past that will help you. Okay, so you say, I see you're looking for a load from Winder or Winder, Georgia. Is that where you're at? The reason why we want to ask them, is that where you're at, is because this was an hour and 15 minutes ago. So he may not be in Winder or Winder, Georgia. He may be somewhere else now. So that's why you always want to verify, you know, is that where you're at? Okay. The WFA at the end stands for wait for an answer. In case anyone was wondering that, what's that WFA? That means wait for an answer. So you're going to ask a question, wait for them to say something, wait for their answer, okay? And you're driving a van, right? Here it shows a van. And you're driving a van, right? Can you see both screens, or can you only see one?
Only one.
Okay, all right.
I only see one.
Okay, so I'm going to have to switch back and forth and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, let me show you
Only
what I was talking about there. Okay, so what I was getting the information from was right here. You're searching for a load from Winder, Georgia, right? Is that where you're at? And you're gonna say yes or no, because like I said, it's
yes.
been a while, right? So now I'm gonna say, and you're driving a van, right? See, this gives you all the intel. This gives you all the intel that you need to be successful. You know, you got the name of their company, you got what kind of equipment they're driving, you got their name, you got their DOT number, you got their email, you got their phone number. You know they're in good shape because they're check all greens, so you don't have to worry about having a problem when you call the broker whether they're going to be accepted or not. And you have right where they're at, Winder, Georgia. Okay, and if you went to the next one, this guy would be different. He's from Lansing, Illinois. He's in Lansing, Illinois. He's driving a reefer. His name different. His trucking, you know. So you have all the intel you need to help these drivers, you know. And they provide this for a reason. They want someone to call them to help them to find a load. So it's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel, right? You know, you're there just, hey, I'm here to help you. This, you know, but we do it in a certain way where we actually prove our value why we have them on the phone. Okay. So let me go back to my script, and I'm gonna open up my script here so you can see it all. Okay. So now after you say you're driving a van, right? Yeah. Okay. Is that a 48 or 53 footer? The reason why you want to ask, is it a 48 or 53 footer? If they tell you anything less, then you know it's a hot shot or a straight truck. You know, and you want to be careful. You know, I'm not saying that you can't do it, because we have you know, managers that do hot shots and they do extremely well, you know, but they're very, very hard to find freight for because they're limited. They're limited as far as how much weight they can carry. The max they could carry is 14,000 pounds, and they're limited on the length of the loads that they can carry, you know. So that's why you want to ask that question. That will eliminate hot shots and straight trucks if you don't want to deal with them. If you want to deal with them, sign them up. And I just wish you the very best, because I do not deal with them at all. I tell every single person that comes on, but we've had people that say, okay, well, if no one else is wanting to do it, I'll do it, you know, because there's a market for it, and there is, but it's a very hard market, you know. And you'll hear probably tomorrow night from people that are doing it, and they'll tell you that is very, very hard, you know. And then we say, you know, Graham, we know that not every carrier can run the same load for the same amount of money, because you may have expenses that are unique to you. Now, what did we do right there? We just basically professed our profession, saying, hey, we know that not every carrier can run the same load for the same amount of money, because you have expenses that are unique to you. And it's true. We made a true statement there. We don't know what his expenses are. We don't know if he has a mortgage. We don't know how many children he has. We don't know if he's married, divorced, if he's paying alimony, child support, you know, if he has a mortgage, if he has multiple car payments, how much his truck payment is, how much he's paying for insurance. You know, we don't know what his expenses are. Okay. So then what we want to do is, so let me ask you, okay? Now, this sounds like I'm asking politely. Like, so let me ask you, but I don't stop to wait and see if I get permission to ask the question. I just go on, okay? So let me ask you, how much money do you need to move your truck to be profitable? And if they're like, what do you mean? Say, well, how much money do you need to move your truck, you know, to be profitable? Like, how much do you need per mile to be profitable? Oh, hey, I need a minimum $2.25 a mile. Oh, okay. You're on the low board, right? Okay. If they say yes, they're on the low board, then we just say, okay, well, why don't we go on the low board and see what kind of loads we can find you, and let me prove my value to you. How's that sound? And they're like, well, yeah, that sounds good, you know, because they're thinking, hey, I'm going to get a free load out of this, right? So now, if they say, for instance, if you say you're on the low board, right, and they say no, or even up here where you say, hey, Graham, are you looking for a load there, driver? You say no. Say, oh, you already have one? Okay, where's that going? And when's that deliver? Yeah, and where are you going from there? Okay, so then once you figure out that, because he sooner or later he's going to run out of, you know, answers, especially when you say, okay, where's that head? When's it deliver? You know, and where are you going next? He's going to be like, I don't know where I'm going next from there, because they're never that far out booked. Okay, but if they sign on with you, they will be, because your pet, it's kind of like playing chess. You'll always be one step ahead of them. Okay, you'll always be one step ahead, where you can easily, you know, you'll have a load for them way ahead of time. Okay, so let's go back here. You're on the low board, right? Yeah, I'm on the low board. Okay, well, why don't we go on low board, see what kind of loads we can find you? You know, let me prove my value to you. How's that sound? Okay. All right, so let's go back here. I got to go back and find the information, and I'll show you how we utilize this in our software. Okay, so we're coming back here. We're going to get Graham. Okay, and he's in Winder, Georgia, right? So what we're going to do is have the other trucker path open, and now we're going to go truckloads for carriers. Okay, as soon as this comes up, now we're going to search online. That's going to go ahead and log us in. Okay, it didn't log me in, so over here I'm going to have to hit login. Then it's going to populate. Like I said, do this one time, and then the password works for both of these. So there's only one password for, you know, trucker path. All right, so we said Winder, Georgia, right? Winder, Georgia. Look at her. Okay, and he's driving a van, right? Isn't that what he said? Yep. Let's go back here and look. Yep, he's driving a van. All right. So I'm going to come over here and pull down my software. So I'm going to put in 225 per mile, because that's what he told me. 225. I'm going to hit save. Right. So now my savings are there. I'm going to say find loads. All right. So it's going to go out. The very first thing you want to do is come over here and go to price. Have all the prices at the top. Okay. So now when he says, you know, I say you're on the low board, right? And he says, yeah, you know, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, all right, let me know when you're ready. And so I'm ready. And I'm going to say I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Even though I only have 2. Okay. Now the reason why I do that is because you don't know how long it's going to take for them to get that logistic service agreement profile form, their MC authority, their certificate of insurance, and their W-9 form back to you. And these loads change constantly. They update to the minute. Now, direct freight, which is my favorite load board, okay, let's go in here. I'm going to find loads. We're going to go Winder, Georgia here. We'll go Winder, Georgia. Let's say 100 mile we'll say dry van. Okay, I'm back over here again. We'll say dry van. And you could do a reefer too, because a reefer can act as a dry van. All you got to do is turn the refrigeration unit off. Okay, so we're going to search. And we're going to come up here to pay rate, click on that. And then here's all the loads, right? So now I'm telling them, okay, I see I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many do you have? They're going to say, I don't have any. Okay, so let's go back to the script. So I just proved my value there. You know, like our software highlights all the loads that pay more than $2.25 per mile. This pays $2.50. That's $2.56. This is $4.17 a mile. This is $4.02 a mile. $3.62 a mile. This is $7.56 a mile. So there's a lot of high-paying, loads out there. All right. So let me go back to my script, and I'll show you where we are in the script. Okay, let me know when you see it.
It's there.
Okay, great. All right, so this is what we did. We said, let me prove my value. So, okay, where you're at. We typed that location in the search, in the load board search, where we said Winder, Georgia. So, okay, you need $2.25 per mile, right? Yep, we put that in the software. Okay, just let me know when you're ready. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How many you have? I don't have any. And they're going to tell you they don't have any because they don't. What they have to do for each and every load is they got to take how much the load is paying, divide it by the miles, and see if that's an even load that's feasible for them to run. Where we have software that does it for us with a click of a button. That's why we say, exactly. We're capable of finding high-paying freight faster than anyone else on the planet. But here's the thing, Graham. Without a logistics service agreement, I can't legally do anything for you. Now, you just stated, the truth, because you cannot legally do anything for any of these drivers without a logistics service agreement. Okay. Now, you want to emphasize to them, now, this is not a contract. It is not. You can still get your loads from anybody you want. You can have your wife, your girlfriend, or another service get them for you. This is just another option. Because we specialize in only high-paying freight, we don't offer cheap freight at all. You tell us what you want, and that's all we provide. All right. So what we did here is, one, we're telling them the truth. Without a logistics service agreement, we can't legally do anything for them. This is not a contract. It is not. We have to set their mind at ease because truck drivers do not want to sign any contracts, and I don't blame them. Now we're telling them, hey, we're giving you your freedom. You're not tied to us. You can still get your loads from anybody you want. You can have your wife, your girlfriend, or another service get them for you. This is just another option, and we tell them why it's best to do business with us. Because we specialize in only high-paying freight. We don't offer cheap freight at all. You tell us what you want, and that's all we provide. So if I send that agreement over to you, you get that back to me, I can look and get you kind of load you want paying $2.25 or more per mile. How's that sound? Sounds good. All right. So a lot of times you can just say, okay, and then your email address, it's right there on the board. Their email address there, their phone number, their name, everything's right there. And then you can say, okay, you're at email address, Graham@grahamtrucking.com. Yep. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and get that logistics service agreement and profile form out to you. And then as you do that, boom, you hit send. Okay. So you're already going to have it already ready. You're going to have your email ready to go, or your DocuSign, or however you're utilizing to contact them. While you have them on the phone, you want to hear that sound, you know how you get an email notification on your phone, that click, 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 you know, whatever that sound is, you want to hear that. And he's going to be like, wow, he said, yeah, this is someone I really want to, you know, do business with because they're fast and efficient, you know. And then you just say, hey, you fill that out for me, you get it back to me, and we'll get you making some money. How's that sound? Sounds good. Now, you don't want to stop there. You want to let them know, hey, there's a fee involved, right? And most of the time, they're going to bring that up in an objection anyway. They're going to say, hey, you know, what's it cost? I know you're not doing this out of kindness of your heart or whatever, you know. Say, well, our fee's 10% of the load, but before you say, oh, wow, that's too high, let me ask you a question, okay? So if you say our fee's 10% of the load and just even hesitate for a second, they're going to jump all over you and say, oh, that's too high. You already know they're going to say it. So you want to address that, right? You want to say our fee's 10% of the load, but before you say, oh, wow, that's too high, let me ask you a question. Now, I did the same exact thing I did earlier. Let me ask you a question, but I'm not going to wait for permission. I'm just going to keep asking the question. So I'm going to say, our fee's 10% of the load, but before you say, oh, wow, that's too high, let me ask you a question. If you're running those that are paying $2 or $2.25 per mile, and I call you with those that are paying $3 or $3.50 per mile, whose load are you going to run that day? And then I just be quiet. He's going to say, you know, I'm going to run your loads, 3 or 350. And then you're going to say, exactly. Our fee is built in. So it's in our best interest to make you the most money we can, because the more money you make, the more money we make. Does that make sense? You know, now you're appealing to his sensibility. Does that make sense? You know, and then they say, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so where can I send a logistics service agreement? Or you just go revert back and say, okay, you're at email so-and-so. Yep. You know, so either way, you don't want to ever end a call, because we had managers that did that. You know, they're just like, okay, I'll send that over to you, you know, and we'll get you making some money. How's that sound? Yep, sounds great. And then they just send it over to them, never talked about the fee or anything, and that's the very first thing that the person sees, you know, as they're going through it, they're reading it and everything, and they say, oh, 10%. Oh, no. But when we do it this way, that 10% fee goes right out the window, because we're getting them way more. Our fee's built in, so they're not going to feel any of the hit, you know. That's why we charge 10% of the load. Whatever the load is, we charge 10% of that, okay? And our fee's built in, so we're making them more money than they could have made anyway, all right? Then after, let's say, for instance, you send it over, you get the logistics service agreement back, you get the profile form, you get their MC authority, you get their certificate of insurance and their W-9 form, which are documents that are, all right, so this is the workflow. All right, so once you get the carrier emails and you sign, you get the signed logistics service agreement profile form with the other required documents like W-9 form, the MC authority, and insurance certificate. You keep copies for your records and you email copies to us at dispatchloads40@gmail.com with your name and phone number, okay? So we'll have this on hand when it comes time for carrier invoicing. Now, what we're going to do before we even contact the broker, this is the first step. Before we even do that, we're going to go back here. If you look down the left-hand bottom of the screen, you probably can't see it, but it says workflow PDF, okay? Now, this document here, you want to right-click, open link in new tab. That's going to be once you get a carrier signed up, okay? You have to have this conversation with your carrier before you do anything, before you search for loads for them or anything like that. You want to have this initial conversation. The reason being is you'll learn from trial and error, like I did, that if I didn't have this conversation with them, then when I called them with a load and everything, even though it met all the parameters that they wanted, it sufficed how much they needed per mile, the area that they wanted to go, and everything else like that, then I would get objections like, oh, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to go here, I don't want to do this, I don't want to go there, different things like that. So to prevent that from happening, you have this initial conversation with them, then you won't have that issue. Okay, as soon as I apologize for the hesitation in my computer. It's like I said, we have so many people on. Anthony or Hank, how many people are on anyway? It's over 100 something, I know that.
There's 100 and it's full. We can't get anybody else on. We need a bigger boat.
This is once you get a carrier signed on, okay? Let me know when you can see that, once you get a carrier signed up.
We can see it.
Okay.
I can see it.
Okay, thank you. So you have to have the conversation with them first to establish what is the preferred method of communication, calling or texting, and next determine where they want to run, where they want to run. They want to run south or anything like that. Okay. So once this document here is going to do a couple of things for you. First is preferred method communication. Second is where they want to run. Third is what is their main objective. Okay, so what's your main objective? I'm right down here if you can see my mouse moving around. What's your main objective? Is it to make X amount of money each week, or is it to go to places you want to go? Which is it? Is it the money, or is it the comfort of going where you want to go? And you let them choose, because you're going to let them know that if it's where you want to go, you may not make the kind of money you want to make each week. But if it's to make the kind of money you want to make each week, there may be a load in there or so that you might have to do that you don't want to do. Okay, because you want to let them know, that your main objective as your logistic business manager is to make sure that you hit that goal of the amount of money that you want each week. Okay, if they tell you it's the money, that's your goal. Okay, so you say, well, let me ask you, how much money do you want to make each week? And they'll tell you 6,000, 8,000, whatever they tell you it is, that's your goal, is to get them to make that money, right? So you tell them, hey, if you tell me you want to make 6,000 a week, that's what you want to bring home as a minimum of that, right? Yep. Okay, so I'm going to choose loads that get you to that $6,000 per week. Now, you've been a trucker for quite a while, and you know that trucking industry is not perfect. You know that, right? And they're going to agree, yes. No one will ever say, no, I don't agree. And then you're going to say, okay, you have to keep in mind that there may be a load in there or two that's not really what you want, but that load's going to get you to a place so you can end up with the money that you're looking for. You understand what I'm saying, Graham? Yep. Okay, I understand. All right, so when I get your first load, after you tell me where you are, I'm going to start doing my load management. And my goal is to group together a string of loads all week that will get you the amount of money or more based on what you told me you want. Now, I want you to understand me now. You can either go where you want to go and not earn a certain amount of money, or I can get you what you want each and every week, but you have to go where I send you. Which is more preferred? Okay. And if they say, okay, you didn't make the money, say, okay, I don't want you to say, well, I don't want to go here, I don't want to go there, because you just told me that you need a certain amount of money each week, right? Yep. Okay, so we're good to go, right? Yep. Okay. So now you had that crucial conversation with them, but you have to have it, and if they balk at like, oh, well, I want to make the money and go where I want to go, hey, that's not possible. we're going to do our best to do everything that we can to do that. But there may be a load in there every now and then that you'll have to do so we can get you making that kind of money, you know. And as long as they understand that and you guys have an agreement, then they can't say, oh, well, I don't want to go there or whatever. Say, hey, we had this conversation before, you know. So this will help you in that event. Okay. Another thing is to one other thing that has come to light with other business managers is to ask them how they want to be invoiced. Do they want to be invoiced after every single load, or do they want to be invoiced at the end of every week? Okay, so it's based upon your carrier on how we're going to set up invoicing for them. If they tell us they want it at the end of every week, like on Friday, then we'll go ahead and do that. You know, if they tell us that after every single load is fine, you know, they can keep better organization that way, that's fine too, you know. But you have to find that out from your carrier and then let us know so we know how to invoice them the proper way. You know, because we have a system that automatically sends out reminders if they don't pay right away. You know, and we don't want to keep hounding them with the same load over and over and over again, because you're turning in other loads at the same time, and then those are going to get reminders, and it's just going to keep confusing your driver. Your carrier is going to just confuse them. So you want to make sure you get that cleared and out of the way. All right. All right. So now we had the initial conversation. That's out of the way. So now we're going to go on to our loads. Yeah, I'm just going to go with direct freight. All right, so now let's say we came in here. Let's go ahead and search again one more time. See if anything changed, because these update every 5 minutes. Okay, so you always want to keep that in mind. Okay, now one thing I want to warn you is please, please, please do not ever use this button to set load alert, because what has to happen is if you click on that and you change this, you edit this email, this phone number, or anything in here, then what this does, it shuts everybody out of the system except you. And then I have to go in with my master login and change it, and then I have to put in a new password and then notify everybody, and it's a real big hassle. So don't ever, ever, ever use this function, okay? All right, thank you. Okay, so let's say we chose this load here for $1,775. So what I would do is click on it. If you click on the link itself, a drop-down box pops up, right? And here it gives you the information that you need. Here's the phone number to call. Okay, down here it says load number 1618972. Please contact Mary at extension 853. Okay, so you're going to call this 800 number, and a automated voice will come on there. If you know your party's extension, you know those kind of stupid things, right? So you're just going to type in 853, and then when she answers, you know, she'll probably be like, yes, may I help you? That's all they say. You know, they're not very personable. And then you just say, hey, Mary, and say, yeah, this is Mary. Say, okay, hey, Mary, I got a driver that interested in that load from Atlanta, Georgia to Ridgely, Maryland, load number 1618972. Very first thing that's going to come out of her mouth is, what's the driver's MC number? So you got to make sure you have that readily available. That's why we ask for that document from them when we send over the logistics service agreement profile form. We ask that they send that back, okay? And then they're going to run the MC number real quick, and they're going to come back in like 20 seconds and say, okay, that carrier's good to go, or that carrier needs a carrier packet, okay? If the carrier needs a carrier packet, then what you want to do the very first time, because carrier packets, there's a lot of information that you will just not know. So you always want to have your carrier fill it out the first time, then you keep a copy of it, and then you can fill out other carrier packets on behalf of your carrier, to save them time in the future. Okay. Now, if you want to know about carrier packets or load rate cons or anything else like that, there's videos in the logistics training that provide you all that information. We're not going to have time to go over it tonight. I'm just trying to touch base real quick, what you're going to say to the broker, and then they're going to tell you, get a carrier packet or whatever. Then if they say that carrier's good to go, then they're going to send you a load rate confirmation sheet. Okay. The load rate confirmation, like I said, watch that video. Then text or call your driver, and let them know, like, hey, text me or call me when you pick up the load. Okay. Now this does two things. One, they picked up the load with no problems. And two, how much time you have to get them another load before they deliver that one. Okay. And you want to use the 50-mile-an-hour scale. Okay. So on average, you just take how many miles the load is, divide it by 50. That's how many hours it's going to take that driver to get to that destination. Okay. And then you just have them call or text you when they deliver the load and have a signed bill of lading. And then based upon if they have their own factoring company, then you can send it to their factoring company, or you can send it to the brokers. If they don't have factoring at all, then you offer them factoring through UC Factors. So this way, you not only get the referral fee, excuse me, you not only get the referral fee, but you also get the commission. Okay. All right, and then the carrier invoicing, right? So the carrier invoicing is at the end of, I got to go back here and show you my screen again. Okay. So we just discussed everything that I was just talking about. Contact the broker, all that information is in here. The broker will send you a load rate confirmation sheet. Make sure you read it, and that it all is in compliance with what you agreed upon for the load. Once the load rate and confirmation sheet signed, send it back to the broker. Once the carrier drops the load, you get a signed bill of lading. Now you're on the carrier invoicing. On the carrier invoicing form that you're going to send to us to include your information, your full name, phone, and email, carrier information, full name, MC number, phone, email, the load information, which is the pickup, destination, the rate, the miles, the weight, all that, and the broker information. Also attached to the email, signed logistics service agreement, signed load rate confirmation, and bill of lading. Okay. Now, once we receive it, what we're going to do is bill the carrier and pay you immediately once payment has been received from the carrier, and then you're on to your next booking. Okay. Now, what a lot of people are probably going to say, well, how can we guarantee that we're going to get paid? Okay, because you're going to hear some people think, drivers are going to say, well, this sounds like a scam. This can't be real. No one ever asks us what we want and everything. This isn't possible. It sounds like a scam to me. And you're going to say, well, how can it be a scam? I'm doing all the work for you up front. I'm searching, I'm booking the loads, I'm the middleman, I'm taking care of all the processing paperwork and everything. I'm doing all the work for you up front. You get all the money. I don't touch any of the money. It comes all to you, and I'm relying on you to pay me. So how can I possibly be scamming you? And then like some people wonder, like, okay, well, what prevents them from not paying us? Well, what that actually happened to me in the very beginning when I first started doing this is they were guys were telling me, hey, I'm not paying you. I'm like, well, come on, man, I did all this work for you. I mean, you got to pay me. said, no, I'm not paying you. You know, you snooze, you lose, or something to that effect, you know? And I was like, well, this ain't gonna work. You know, I got to figure something out here. So I contacted the FMCSA and I asked them, which FMCSA is the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Association. Okay. I contact them and I said, hey, I got a carrier that I did work for and everything. And they refused to pay me. I said, do I have any recourse or do I have any rights or anything? And they said, absolutely, you do. It's all you got to do is file a complaint with the National Consumer Complaint Department of the FMCSA, you know, putting in to have his authority revoked for non-payment of services. I said, oh, okay. So the next time a carrier tried to say that to me, that's exactly what I told them. And they paid me immediately. No questions asked. You know, they do not want to get their authority revoked. Okay. So that's your recourse if you're wondering, how can I make sure a carrier is going to pay me? Every carrier will pay you. Okay. They will pay the invoice and then we pay you from that invoice. Okay. So that was real quick orientation, like A to Z. You know, there's a lot of other, moving parts in between there, but we can go through them in different trainings and everything. But I just wanted to go through that real quick. And then now, it's about 8:30. I try to get through it as quick as possible. I thank you all for your time. So now we're going to open it up for live Q&A.